In a situation whereby there is a land dispute between two people, let's say Mr. A and Mr. B. Mr. A has a CFO on that land, but Mr. B does not have CFO. But Mr. B has already built on that land. In fact, the person he has already moved in, and Mr. A is claiming that he has CFO on that land, that is going to demolish that house. So does having a CFO automatically grant Mr. A the legal right over that land, and does it grant him the right to do whatever he likes on the land, despite the fact that Mr. B has already built on that land? So that is what I'm going to be explaining in this video. Please stay around. So you are welcome back. In this video, I'm going to be explaining some things. First and foremost, we know that certificate CFO means certificate of occupancy, and is a we can call it the ultimate title. It's very important because when you have a CFO on the land, it means the governor has given you the right to occupy that land for a period of 99 years. So you are more or less like a tenant, but a legit tenant. So that's because the validity of the CFO is just for 99 years. Now, in a situation where two people are fighting over a land, and one of them has a CFO, but that other person does not have a CFO, don't forget the government cannot issue a CFO, two CFO for a single land. That means if we have a 4 point like a plot of land, the government cannot issue two different CFO to that particular portion of land. So that means one person has a CFO, but the other person will not have. If one person has it, then the other person will not have it. In some situations, two people can come with different CFO, with two CFO. Definitely one of them is fake, and probably both of them is also fake. So the focus here is to explain what happens here. I'm going to say yes and no. Mr. A has that is the question is, does Mr. A, because he has the CFO, does he have the legal right over that land? Does he have the right to do anything like probably pull down the building on it or the existing building on it? Yes and no. And I'm going to be explaining this. Yes, if the following are in place. The first situation is if Mr. A, who has a CFO, actually got a government allocated CFO. That means the land was initially under acquisition, and Mr. A went to meet the government and got a government allocated CFO after that's done the process of ratification. Don't forget the land is under general acquisition or global acquisition, and if you need further explanation about that, you can just check my previous videos. But in this situation, it means Mr. A has gone to buy the land from the government, and it has a CFO. That means the land is was initially under government acquisition. If it was under government acquisition, global or general acquisition, why did Mr. B buy it? Automatically, he would lose the land, and whoever owns the land owns the building on it. That means eventually the yard will be demolished, because it means is that Mr. B went to buy a land without conducting due diligence. Probably he doesn't know that the land was under acquisition, and he went ahead to buy it from Omolile or whoever sold it to him, or Mr. A had already gotten government allocation before him. So when he wanted to buy the land, he did not conduct due diligence. He just went ahead to buy the land. So if the CFO is government allocated CFO, forget it. Mr. A automatically has the right of ownership on that land. Don't forget, the land belongs to the government, and the fact that the land was under government acquisition, it means that the Omonile or whoever sold it to the Mr. B they do not have the rights to do so. They don't have the full rights to do so. What they can just tell the person, Mr. Head, is that yes, we know that land is under government acquisition. It's our father's land. They give us something, not out of compulsion, because the land was under government acquisition. It was government land already before Mr. A went to buy it from the government and got the CFO. So that's why I said yes. Another situation is that Mr. B bought the land, but let's assume the land, probably the land was not under any acquisition, any form of government acquisition, but Mr. B bought the land and got just family receipts. He got family receipts and then went to sleep. He started building, got family receipts, no building approval, just started building and then moved in. If Mr. A had gone ahead, probably the same Omolile sold, the same Omolile that sold it to Mr. B sold it to Mr. A, and Mr. A then went ahead to get, after getting the receipt, he prepared a deed of a sale of land agreement and made them, those Omolile, to sign, and they signed it, and he went ahead to get a registered survey plan. In fact, he even got the registered survey plan before getting the deed of assignment prepared. That means the BK number on the registered survey plan was quoted on the deed, on the sale of land agreements, was quoted on the sale of land agreements. Then he went ahead and the Omonile, the same Omonile sold it to him. They signed the documents, and he has a lot of probably pictorial evidence or video evidence that they sold it to him. Apart from signing, and he also has the receipt, he has the survey plan, because the survey plan now has already made it clear to us that this land, it is not the one behind us, it is this particular land, because the BK number, the coordinates, is going to tell us the exact points. So they can't deny that the fact that they sold it, this was the land that they sold. So when this dispute arises, there's going to be Mr. B will have issue. Now Mr. A now went a step further to get a CFO using the same receipt, the sale of land agreement, and the registered survey plan, and then he was able to get that certificate of occupancy, the CFO. That's another case for Mr. B. Mr. B will lose the land, because the first question is you are going to ask Mr. B is that when you bought the land, why didn't you get agreement, ask a lawyer to prepare agreement for you? Another question is, when you bought the land, why didn't you get a surveyor to survey the land for you, to get you a registered survey plan? That's offense number 2. That's it. The third one is, why did you start building without getting building approval? Because there's no way you will get building approval without presenting a sale of land agreement that was used to buy, that you used to get that land from that the Omonile signed. There's no way you will get building approval without presenting a registered survey plan, because a registered survey plan is what you will need it alongside the architectural design to be able to get building approval, because the survey plan will tell us, the registered survey plan will show all the boundary of the land, and that is what will guide the architect to prepare the architectural design. Then when you have the architectural design, you now want to get building approval. You take the architectural design, the registered survey plan, and the sale of land agreement, whatever you call it, deed of agreement, whatever you call it, and it will present those ones and then get a building approval. And if all those 3 that I mentioned are intact, then it means we will need to question Mr. B, Mr. A, who got the CFO. How did it come about the CFO? Because at times the CFO can also be challenged, and it still goes back to getting the right professional to help you when you are buying land. There are some time I guide, a couple of times I guide the lawyer who prepare the documents. There are some clauses that need to be included in that land, in that sale of land agreement. Not just preparing one random copy and paste template and then you give it to the sellers and they sign. There are some clauses that need to be included. If it was quoted that the land now belongs to you, and the sellers, they sign, they agree that they will never sell the land to another person. That's one another clause there. They will never sell it. That if anything comes, if they do, if any problem arises, they will bear it. So when Mr. A comes with the CFO and says that the land belongs to him, then it's now discovered that the same Mr. A that sold the land, after selling the land to you, he sold it to Mr. B. Then they are going to be in trouble. So whatever problem that arise, they are going to be, they will bear the burden. If the house needs to be will be demolished, they will bear it because they have already signed. So CFO, getting a CFO is important, but the root title is very important. You need to be very sure that the background documents that was used to sell the land, they are genuine. Because there are some time, probably Mr. B too got the land. When he got the land, like another angle, he got the land, and all they have those who sold those people that owns the land, they are about 5 people. There are 5 people. The land belongs to 5 people. They inherited it from their father, so he bought it from them, and all the 5 people gave consent. They signed the agreement. It's safe, and putting the right clauses in the document, the agreement too. But Mr. B that claims he has the CFO, Mr. A that claims that he has the CFO, bought the land from one of them. The land that belongs to 5 people, we bought it from one person. The one person signed. They will, at the end of the day, the CFO is going to be revoked, because the basis, the foundation on which the CFO is standing is faulty. So there's going to be a great issue. So at the end of the day, he will lose the right of ownership of that land. So the CFO will be revoked. So what I will advise you is that if you are buying a land, make sure you involved the right people. It's not just any lawyer. You need someone that is well experienced, a lawyer that, if you want to do it without involving a real estate consultant, fine, but just make sure the lawyer you are giving that work job to knows what he's doing. It's not somebody that is into corporate law, whatever law it is, and that doesn't know what's happening in the real estate industry. Just maybe what they just taught the person in school, and then is working around that templates. No. So you need to get somebody a lawyer that understands how the real estate market works. The right clauses that should be included in the document. And apart from that, you make sure that those who are signing the document are the people that owns the land. Get the survey plan first. I will advise that. Get the survey plan first before you get the deed. It's expensive, yes, but you want to, a man, even the Bible says that there's no man that want to build a house that will not count the cost. If you can afford a land of 3 million or 5 million, then you should be able to afford the registered survey plan of probably 350,000 or 400,000, depending on the location. It could be more depending on the location, and you should be able to afford a sale of land agreement. That means you should be able to pay a lawyer to do that for you. Put the necessary things in place. And when you want to start building, you need to get building approval too. Building approval will not just protect you in case of disputes, land disputes. It will also give some level of protection that CFO can give you too. When the government comes, the land was not under acquisition before, but the government decides to use it, they will compensate you if you have a building approval. But if you don't have building approval, you're on your own. Because government on their own, they will not give you building approval for a land that's under government acquisition. They won't give you. So for them to have given you, were they sleeping? No. So that means if anything happens, if you want to do something with the land, they will compensate you. But without the building approval, you are going to be on your own. You'll be left alone, and the house will be demolished. So in that case, I think I'll be able to explain the circumstances here. That there's likelihood that Mr. A who has the CFO, we have 100% right over the land, and there's likelihood that Mr. B, who does not have a CFO, will still win the case if the CFO is faulty. If the land is under government, if the CFO is government allocated CFO, Mr. B should just forget about that land and forget about the house that he has built. He should forget about it, because the land will be demolished. A land that has been, unless Mr. A decides to agrees to sell it to him, he will buy it again. And another situation is if Mr. B did not get the necessary document, just relying on family receipts, and the Omolile, as some of dubious as some of them can be, they went ahead to sell it to another person, because the family receipt does not grant you the right of ownership, transfer the right of ownership to you. The worst that can happen, they will tell you, okay, we collected 700,000 from you in year 2019 or 2010. They were going to refund you your money. That was what, because they did not, they didn't, there was nothing binding, there was no legal binding, there was no legal document binding them that they sold the land to you. The receipt, the family receipt cannot do that. So that's why you need to conduct due diligence when you are buying land, so that you will not fall into trouble. Land dispute is real, and it can be brutal. So you get things right from the beginning. It doesn't matter who is selling it, whether it's your best friend, whatever it is. Put the right necessary things, necessary provision in place, so that you can have peace of mind. So if you want to buy land, you need genuine land, or you want me to help you with verification, you can. I'm reachable. You can reach out to me on 08100956957, and you can also reach out to the company's through the company's number 078078117457. And if you want to buy genuine land, we have genuine lands for sale. We don't just sell land, we sell peaceful genuine land that will give you peace of mind. I also help you with verification. You want to buy property, want me to help you to conduct due diligence, I'm just at your reach. You can give me a call anytime. So I hope you get this explanation, and whenever you are buying land, please take caution, so that you don't put your money in the drain. Thank you, and see you some other time. Bye.